How you doing, Holly? How's it going? How are you?
Good Pesach out.
All right, Larry, you're a Jew again. Welcome back.
Uncut Gems is a movie that came out in 2019, directed by the Safdie Brothers and starring Adam Sandler. It's about a jewellery store owner named Howard Ratner, who is a self-destructive gambling addict whose debts are mounting up around him. He's trying to please Kevin Garnett, a basketball player who believes that a rare black opal that Howard shows him is a good luck charm. He's also in debt with his brother-in-law, loan shark Arno, who, along with his collectors, are continuously screwed over by Howard, as he would rather gamble with his money than pay it back. On top of that, he's got a dysfunctional family life, including his ex-wife Dina, his children with whom he has no connection, and his girlfriend Julia, who works with him at his store. Right from the beginning, this movie is intense. It is one of those movies that constantly walks a tightrope. There are many aspects to the way in which this movie is made that if it was in any other director's hands, or if it was any other genre, I would have hated it. I usually cannot stand shaky camera, characters always talking over the top of each other, 4 or 5 different things going on in the same scene, things like that. However, as this movie is an intentionally high-intensity thriller, it works for the most part, though there are certain scenes that I find hard to follow on with. The Safdie Brothers, with this movie and Good Time, have proven themselves skillful in the grungy, seedy New York crime thriller scene. Both these movies feel less like a traditional good guy, bad guy story, and more like a slice in the lives of flawed, even unlikable characters who you nonetheless want to see come out on top. Ratner is the epitome of this, as he cheats on his wife, has no connection with his kids, and is a loud-mouthed, self-destructive gambling addict. But we still wish the best for him. Sandler's performance in this movie is one of the best in his career, as it is finally not a shitty, crude comedy film. Sandler has proven in a few dramatic movies that, under the right direction with the right material, he can act. Meyerowitz Stories was great, Punch Drunk Love was great, the emotional scenes in Click were good, the rest was just typical shitty Sandler comedy. Hustle was pretty good, etc, etc. He can act, which is why it's annoying that time and time again he has chosen not to. This is one of those times where he has chosen to, and it certainly paid off. Idina Menzel nailed her part in this movie as well as Dina, Howard's embittered wife, who has agreed to divorce him after Passover. Howard has cheated on Dina and has barely any connection to his children whatsoever. I love Idina Menzel in this because the whole time she just carries the expression of being fed up, hurt to the point of indifference, and disgusted by Howard's antics. You empathise with her because she was married to a selfish man who would rather live on the edge and pursue a self-destructive lifestyle than settle down and have a relationship with his family. Howard is a man who always needs an adrenaline rush. If he's not putting himself in high-stress, risky situations, he doesn't feel alive. He'd rather cheat on his wife and risk ruining his family relationship than settle down and lead a normal family life, and he'd rather spend more and more money gambling for bigger and bigger wins than pay his collectors back punctually. Menzel just sells the character of the pissed-off wife who's seen it all before, knows it all too well, and is absolutely sick of this shit. LaKeith Stanfield also does a great job as Damani, one of Howard's employees, who helps hook Howard up with potential clients but is consistently embarrassed and ultimately ripped off by Howard. Kevin Garnett plays himself in this movie, and it is one of the few times an athlete has played himself in a movie and not been absolutely terrible. Eric Bogosian does a great job as Arno, selling the tough, grungy exterior, but giving the character some humanity and mercy as well. As intimidating as Arno is, he's only after the money he wants from Howard and nothing more. The most intimidating of the collectors Arno works with is Phil, played by Keith William Richards. While Arno is the brains behind the operation to get his money from Howard, Phil is the brute who'd gladly beat up and threaten to kill Howard to get his way. It comes through in both Bogosian and Richards' performances that they have grown up around people like their respective characters and have lent aspects of their lives and their upbringings to their roles. Julia Fox plays Howard's girlfriend, Julia, who works with Howard at the jewellery store and lives with him in his apartment separate from his family. Fox nails the lazy, shallow, somewhat bimbo-like character who shows up to work whenever she wants and does cocaine in the bathroom with The Weeknd at one of his concerts. Howard incorrectly assumes that Julia is cheating on him with The Weeknd and breaks up with her, though they reconcile later. Hypocrisy is another trait apparent in Howard's character, as it is apparently okay for him to cheat on his wife, but not for Julia to cheat on him. This film has a chaotic energy that I usually wouldn't like if it was any other genre, but it works for seedy New York crime thrillers such as these. There is a lot to unpack in this movie, but there are times when the movie doesn't give you enough time to do so. Nonetheless, I enjoyed the movie. It is a very intense movie, and the Safdie Brothers have once again proven their skills as directors of grungy New York slice-of-life crime thrillers such as this and Good Time. Anyway, that is all for this review, and I'll see you in the next video.